Your manufacturer's manual, please read that book. Imagine putting a car's engine oil on your bike. If I had read that book, I wouldn't have put car engine oil into my bike.
I feel like an ocean filled up with emotion. Anger ain't a potion, rub it on like lotion. I can feel it soaking, reopen, the scars have awoken. I can't move on till I let go. So lost, never at home. Need to be strong, every breath hope.
Hello and welcome back to another video on Nduthi Mama channel. I honestly wished I could do this video down there as we were doing the service for the bike, but it's just too hot. The second reason I couldn't do the video out there is because the kids are on holiday, and so it's quite noisy when they're playing. You wouldn't hear anything. Hey, I want to say thank you so much because we've hit 3,000 subscribers. Hiya! 3,000 mileage on my bike and 3,000 subscribers. Thank you, people. Thank you for loving the content. Thank you for watching it, because even the viewership has grown. I'm grateful, very grateful. Today's video is all about what you need to know about servicing your motorcycle. I've spent the whole day servicing my bike for the second time. I did the break-in service a while back, and if you missed that video, it's up here. And today I was doing the next service. I'm now at 3,000 mileage. So when I bought this bike, the Royal Enfield, I promised myself that Pamoyo, you're going to learn a lot about your motorcycle and especially basic maintenance. Although I've ridden for a long time, I'm not 100% involved in everything that our bikes will be done. Those will do a lot of the stuff. So I've been teaching myself basic maintenance. I make sure if I need to go to the garage, I sit in the garage with the mechanic and I learn in the process. So let's go to the video. Having done 2 services on this bike now, I have learned important things that every rider should know about servicing their motorcycle. And the first one, okay? Your manufacturer's manual, please read that book. Most of us go to the manual because we've had a problem, we are looking for a solution, or we are looking for an answer. But you know, servicing your bike is not a problem, so you should know what goes on before you go for even the first service, which is engine braking service. The manual will tell you things that are very important to know before you go for a service. For example, it's going to tell you what engine oil you need to put in your bike. It will tell you what brake fluid you need to use on your bike. It will tell you when you need to do the service, the first service, which is a braking service. It will tell you how often after that you need to do. It will give you all this information. Bikes are different, so you need to know your own bike, how many kilometers are considered a engine braking mileage, and when you do your service, and what you need to put in. And you need to know this before you even go for your first service.
A year ago.
Number 2, what parts you need to replace during your service. And I'm talking about a minor service. We are not going to go to the sprocket and the chain, no. I'm talking about the minor service, which is the engine service. Your oil filter, your air cleaner, your spark plugs. You need to know this part. Let me tell you guys, I had a conversation with a friend. So her bike, the dealer does not do parts and does not do service. So you buy the bike and you're well aware that you will need to be looking for your own parts from wherever, and you need to have your mechanic do your service or do it yourself. So she had been buying parts from one supplier, and then after so long, she's been introduced to another supplier. And the new supplier, the prices are like 50% or less of the other supplier. And here is the question she posed to me. Why are those parts cheaper? And could it be that the other supplier was overcharging me? I wasn't in a position to answer the question based on the pricing. because I know even counterfeit items can cost more than the genuine item. It is very important that you know exactly what you need for your bike. So when you go for your first service, please stay on with the mechanic. See the filter, how it looks like. If you're one of those whose the dealers don't do parts and service, meaning that you have no access to the manufacturer's original parts. You have to go and buy from the market, and mostly the aftermarket ones, or what they call generic ones. Then please go and make sure during the first service, when they're opening the bike, you can see what they're removing. And because you'll probably have already bought the ones to replace on that first service, then make sure you compare what you came with and what they're removing from the bike. See how the genuine one looks like, because your bike will have come with a genuine one if you bought it brand new. If you bought it second hand, it could be anything. So that when now you go back to buy for the next service, you're well aware of what you're looking for. If you are not sure, you can grasp this image and keep it in your mind, and remember when you go to the shop to buy, then keep those first parts for comparison when you feel not so sure about what you're buying. My advice to her was, make sure you know exactly what fits in your bike, and you can also talk to other people who ride a similar bike. That is also a good source of information.
Way back a year ago.
My number 3 advice of what you need to know before you go to service your bike is the engine oil. Going back to the manual, if I had read my manual, I would have known that this car engine oil, it's not good for my bike. It should not even be put on my bike. And I was so ashamed, because I know that motorcycle engine oil is a 4T or a 2T depending on your engine. Either it's a 4-stroke, that's why you're having a 4T, or it's a 2-stroke engine and that's why you're putting a 2-stroke. I blame myself for not reading my manual. I blame myself for not going further to ask even the other Royal Enfield riders. Like I have told you, consult with people who also ride the type of bike you do. And it is not until I did that video that I shared and I posted it in the group, so proud of myself, that I have done my first service, and everybody was like, Omoyo, you put the wrong engine oil. Yes, there's a lot of technical information about the engine oil, synthetic, semi-synthetic, and the 40 mineral. I'm not a trained lubricant expert, so I will not go into those details. What I can advise you is read your manual, buy the right one. Do not buy your engine oil from just anywhere. There's a lot of recycled engine oil in the market. Buy your engine oil from the right dealer. There's a lot that goes into taking care of your engine, and if you don't do it well, your bike is the engine. Without the engine, you have no bike. Finally, as I come to close this video, let me add that it's not always that you're going to change all the parts. Sometimes your air cleaner may be good. Sometimes your spark plugs may be good, depending on the interval between your service. So for short intervals or short mileage services, those bikes, sometimes you don't need to change things like spark plugs. You might find your air filter can go for 2 services, you skip one and change in the next one. So please understand that, so that again, especially if you have a short mileage service bike, then you don't spend a lot of money replacing parts that are still good. And this is why I'm stressing, you need to learn your bike, you need to understand it, ask questions, learn from other people who ride the same bike, so that you don't again end up wasting your money. The other item I would like to stress on is buying the original manufacturer parts for your service. Unfortunately, if your dealer for your motorcycle doesn't do parts and services, you need to have a plan on how to access those parts. When you go to do your service, do not just limit your bike check to the service. And I think this is the last point, the last of the last. Do not limit your bike check to only the service. Check other things now that you're there with a mechanic, such as check your brakes, your brake pads, let them look at them. They're not always a minor service. These ones are done in the major service, but when you're there, please just check. Let them check and see how good or bad the brake pads are, how much life probably left on them, so that they can advise you. Do not wait until the next service. You may need to replace this, your sprocket, your chain. Check all those things. Do not just do the service and then go home. So always put in some more times. I know we have this thing of saying, service your bike sini, 1 hour, 2 hours is enough. Please make enough time to do the service, do it properly. And also check other things on your bike to make sure that your bike is safe for you and for the bike. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll keep sharing my lessons with you, so make sure to subscribe if you're here today and you've never subscribed to this channel. Please subscribe. My content is all about motorcycle life, travel, what you need to know, and especially for beginner riders and intermediate riders. I hope I've convinced you that you need to. Please subscribe and click the bell right next to it so that you don't miss out on every time I put out a new video. Question to you, and please respond in the comment section. What mistake have you ever done with your bike, especially during service? And how did you correct it? Thank you so much, and see you next